Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you was never meant to reach your ears. Not mine, not yours, no one outside the Apostolic Palace. There was a secret meeting, hidden deep within the shadowed halls of the Vatican. No cameras, no witnesses, no records, only whispers in Latin, prayers murmured in fear. And at the very heart of that gathering, Pope Leo XIV himself, standing before a manuscript older than the Church of Rome, a scroll so ancient, so dangerous. The Vatican locked it away centuries ago. A prophecy, forbidden to speak, forbidden to read. Until now. But why? Why has Pope Leo XIV, known for his silence on prophecy, suddenly broken the chain? Why reveal this now, when Israel trembles, when Iran stirs, when the winds of war howl across the east? My friend, you were not meant to hear this. But the Holy Father's hand was forced. A mysterious letter arrived from the Christian underground in Iran, smuggled, carried at great risk. Inside, 12 chilling lines of ancient Aramaic, words that shook Pope Leo XIV to his core. They say, he collapsed to his knees when he read them. And when he rose, he ordered a 40-day fast for every cardinal in the college. No wine, no meat, no comfort, only prayer and fear. Why? Because this prophecy speaks of Israel, of Iran, and of the end times. It speaks of a war unlike any the world has seen, of a covenant of flames rising from the Holy Land, of an eastern star veiled in blood. But here's the part that terrified even the seasoned men of the Vatican Library. It speaks of a third nation, unnamed, hidden in shadow, a great power, already moving, a secret player in the storm to come, and the Pope knows who it is. But he will not say. Why did 3 Vatican translators vanish after reading the scroll? Why did the Swiss Guard change their silent midnight patrols the day after the prophecy was read aloud? Why are the bells of St. Peter's silent every 7th hour, when they have rung for centuries without fail? You feel it, don't you? The world is shifting, the heavens are restless. Even the earth beneath your feet stirs with unease. You've seen the signs, strange lights in the sky, rumors of war, trembling markets, plagues old and new. And now, this message, not from a cardinal, not from a priest, but from the Pope himself. A message not meant for the public, but broken open, like the 7th seal. And you, somehow, were meant to hear this. Is your spirit awake? Are your eyes open? Because what I will reveal to you, in the next few moments, will change everything you thought you knew about Israel, about Iran, about the coming war that will touch every soul on this planet. You will not hear this on the news. You will not hear this in your church. But you will hear it now. Stay, listen, and prepare. Because this is not politics. This is not theory. This is prophecy. And it has begun. If you've felt the world is on the edge and type peace below, the faithful will understand. But listen carefully, my friend, because this mystery goes deeper. Much deeper. This is not some wild rumor from distant lands. This is not a story whispered by fearful monks in darkened monasteries. No, this comes from the very heart of the Church itself, from within the marble walls of the Vatican, from the Holy Father's own trembling lips. They tried to keep this hidden. For decades, maybe centuries, the scroll was locked away in the forbidden archives, chained in iron beside documents so dangerous they could shake the faith of nations. Only the most trusted eyes were ever allowed to glimpse them. But something changed. A sealed envelope arrived. No return name, no seal. Just a simple parchment, carried by trembling hands from the Christian underground of Iran. Inside, 12 lines. 12 lines of ancient Aramaic that no modern scholar could fully translate. But the meaning was clear, terrifyingly clear. The Pope read the message alone that night, beneath the flickering light of a single candle. Witnesses say his face turned pale, his breath caught. He dropped the parchment and fell to his knees, whispering prayers of protection. What did those words say? What could shake the faith of the most powerful man in Christendom? This, that Israel would soon burn, that Iran would soon bleed, that a third hidden power would strike when the world's eyes are turned away, and then, the final line, chilling, terrible. And the hour of darkness shall cover Rome, when the bells fall silent, and the shepherd's voice is heard no more. My friend, do you understand what this means? Even now, the bells of St. Peter's have fallen silent. They rang faithfully for over 500 years, day and night, rain or sun, war or peace. But on Easter morning this year, they did not ring. No explanation was given, no answer from the Vatican press office, and whispers began among the faithful that the prophecy had already begun, but it gets worse. Sources within the Swiss Guard, anonymous, fearful, claim that the Pope has ordered midnight shifts doubled, that secret tunnels beneath the Apostolic Palace have been sealed. Why? What is coming? What is the danger so great that the Vicar of Christ himself fasted for 40 days and warned his closest advisors to prepare for the storm of nations? Israel, Iran, and the third player, a power no one dares name aloud, not America, not Russia, something else. And the Vatican fears it most of all. 3 translators who worked on the ancient prophecy disappeared within days, vanished without a trace. Coincidence? Or did they see something in those lines of Aramaic that no man should see? Why has Pope Leo XIV changed his secret prayer each morning? Why did the black sun rise over Jerusalem last year, darkening the sky for 7 minutes in the middle of the day? Why did the statue of the Madonna in Lebanon weep blood on the very day this prophecy was uncovered? Why does every cardinal in Rome refuse to speak of this, except in whispers, behind locked doors? You feel it in your spirit, don't you? You know this is no fairy tale, no empty superstition. The world is trembling. The powers of heaven are stirring, and the Pope has broken silence. For the first time in living memory, the Holy Father has spoken a warning, not just to kings, not just to the Church, but to you, to the faithful, to the remnant, because you must choose to see or to remain blind, to hear or to cover your ears. But you were meant to hear this. You were drawn here, not by chance. The warning has come. The seals are breaking. The time is short. Stay. Listen. Because what you are about to learn in the next few moments will shake your soul. And when the storm comes, you will remember this day. The day you heard the forbidden prophecy of Pope Leo XIV. But wait, before you turn away, listen carefully, because the true horror, the true weight of this prophecy, is only just beginning to unfold. The world has not heard this part. Not your news, not your government, not your priests, only a small circle of men inside the Vatican walls. And now, you. 2 years ago, 2023, a sealed envelope arrived at the gates of the Apostolic Palace. It bore no seal of any government, no signature, no courier, only the trembling hand of a frightened cardinal from the East. His name erased from the official records. Inside that envelope was a single parchment, old, brittle as dust, the scent of ancient oils still clinging to its surface. 12 lines, written in Aramaic, the language of Christ himself. The cardinals gathered to decipher the words. The Vatican's best scholars locked themselves away in silence. 40 days they labored, 40 nights they prayed, and when they emerged, they were pale, silent, fearful, for they had uncovered the forbidden prophecy, 12 lines that spoke of a fire from Zion and blood from Persia. The words hinted at Israel, the ancient covenant, surrounded by flame, and Iran, the eastern star, its light dimmed by blood. But the third name, oh brethren, the third name was blotted out, erased by time or by purpose, and no one knows. but its shadow loomed large over the text, and when Pope Leo XIV was handed the translation, the room fell silent. He read the words once and dropped to his knees. Witnesses said he wept. He clutched the cross at his chest and whispered prayers of mercy. When he rose, he issued a command no pope has given in 500 years, a 40-day fast. The College of Cardinals, stripped of comforts, forbidden meat, forbidden wine, forbidden light, only prayer. Why? Because of what the prophecy said next. When the covenant of flames rises and the eastern star bleeds, the third shadow shall awaken, and the bells of Rome shall fall silent, and the fishermen shall weep alone in the dark. Do you understand? It was not merely a warning of war, it was a timeline, a sequence of horrors, and so far, two have already come to pass. The covenant of flames, the sudden and deadly strikes upon Israel's northern borders, the secret war of missiles and fire, the eastern star bleeding, the silent sabotage of Iran's nuclear project, the mysterious deaths of its scientists, the strange explosions in its underground labs, and now, the bells. On Easter Sunday, the bells of St. Peter's Basilica fell silent, without cause, without warning, without explanation, and the Vatican remains silent. But those who know, those who have seen the translation, they are terrified. Because the final line, the one that caused the Pope to break his vow of silence, is this: "And the hour of darkness shall cover Rome, and the shepherd's voice shall be heard no more, and the third power shall rise clothed in shadow to strike the earth." What is the third power? Is it a nation, a force, a terror waiting to be unleashed? No one knows. But 3 Vatican librarians who handled the scroll have vanished, gone without a trace, no farewells, no bodies. Coincidence or judgment? Even the Swiss Guard have changed their midnight patterns, their weapons drawn, their faces pale. Why? What do they fear? You, brother, you, sister, you were not meant to hear this, but now you have, and you must decide. Will you dismiss this as myth, as fantasy, or will you see the truth hidden beneath the marble and gold of the Vatican? The clock is ticking, and the third power, whatever it is, may already be moving, even now, in secret, unseen, waiting. But wait, there's more. The prophecy did not stop at warnings of Israel and Iran. No, the scroll spoke clearly of these 2 ancient nations, but with a darkness wrapped in mystery. Listen. Listen closely. One crowned with fire, one drowning in blood, and a third who watches veiled in shadow. Israel, the covenant nation, called here crowned with fire. Why? Because fire now surrounds her. Missiles in the north, explosions in Gaza, secret wars waged in the silent hours before dawn. And Iran, the eastern star, drowning in blood. You have seen the news, the protests, the assassinations, the explosions in its nuclear heart, its skies stained with black smoke. But the third? The third nation remains unnamed in the prophecy, a player hidden from the eyes of men, but not from the gaze of heaven. What power is this? Why did 3 Vatican scholars vanish after translating these lines? Why did their notebooks, their files, their research records disappear from the Vatican archives? No one will say. But rumors, they still drift through the marble halls like cold air in the dead of night. Some say it points to a great empire in the west. Others whisper of a rising dragon in the east. But there is a darker theory, whispered only by those brave or foolish enough to speak it aloud in Rome, that this third power is not of man at all, not a nation, not an army, but something older, something spiritual, a force that has waited in silence since the days of Babel, since the fall of the first temple, since the betrayal in the garden, a power bound until the appointed hour, and now, perhaps, unbound, And Pope Leo XIV knows this. His secret addresses to the College of Cardinals have changed. No longer prayers for peace alone, but for protection, for deliverance. Why? Because the prophecy says that when the third power moves, the bells will fall silent. And they have. On Easter morning, the holiest day, the bells of St. Peter's failed to ring. No explanation, no repair, just silence. And the prophecy moves forward. 3 signs foretold, 3 signs fulfilled. And the Vatican fears what comes next, because what follows is the storm, and Israel and Iran will be caught in its center. You must understand this, brother, sister. This is not a warning of politics or earthly war alone. This is spiritual war. The lines have been drawn in heaven, and soon they will be drawn in blood upon the earth. That is why Pope Leo XIV broke his silence. That is why the secret letter was sent to the underground church in Iran. That is why the Swiss Guard now double their midnight watches, because the third power is waking, and when it rises, the world will not be the same. And then, it happened. Pope Leo XIV, the man known for his quiet restraint, for his careful distance from political storms, for his refusal to speak in haste, did something no pope has done in decades. He spoke, not to diplomats, not to world leaders, not to kings or princes, but to the world, to you, to the church. And his words were not the words of a man confident in peace. They were the words of a shepherd staring into the valley of death. The Vatican cameras turned on late that night, after the bells had fallen silent, after the 3 signs had appeared, and in a trembling voice, Pope Leo XIV gave his warning. Listen to his words. They echo still in the marble halls of St. Peter's, and in the hearts of those who heard. Brothers and sisters, children of the covenant, hear me now. A storm is coming, not of rain, nor of wind, but of fire. The ancient enemy stirs, the nations prepare, the hidden ones move in shadow. War is not the answer, but war will come. Only prayer can stay the hand. Only repentance can calm the storm. Return to the Lord. Fast. Pray. Weep between the porch and the altar, for the time of shaking is at hand, and the church must be found awake, or be swept away with the nations. The world did not understand. The press laughed. The governments turned away. But those within the church knew. The Swiss Guard tightened their patrols. The cardinals met in secret behind bolted doors. And Pope Leo XIV ordered something unseen in centuries, a secret prayer initiative, a fasting of 40 bishops in 40 nations. And most chilling of all, a consecration ceremony whispered to be the fulfillment of the 3rd secret of Fatima. What is he preparing for? What does he know that we do not? Why the sudden fear, the sudden urgency, the sudden breaking of the great silence? The prophecy has unfolded step by dreadful step, and the last pieces are moving into place. Even now, in the hills of Israel, along the Persian coasts, in the secret tunnels beneath the old cities, and in Rome itself, in the marble heart of Christendom, the stage is set. But the Holy Father did not leave us without hope, for he also spoke of a remnant church, a hidden people, a faithful few, those who will remain unshaken, untouched, prepared when the great storm breaks. Could that be you? Have you felt the stirring in your spirit? Have you seen the signs, the dreams, the visions? Then you, my friend, may be part of that remnant, but only if you remain awake, only if you prepare, for the time is short, and the last trumpet may soon sound. But the Holy Father gave us more than warnings, more than fearful whispers of war and prophecy. He gave us signs, 3 signs, heaven's quiet testimony, that the prophecy is real, that the scroll was no forgery, that the storm truly is coming. Listen now, brethren, for these signs have already come, and many saw them, but did not understand. You will understand, because you have been chosen to hear this truth. The first sign, the Weeping Madonna of Lebanon, April 2024. A quiet chapel in the mountains of Lebanon. A simple statue of the Virgin Mary, untouched for decades, suddenly wept tears of blood. Witnesses gathered, cameras rolled, scientists tested the liquid, human blood, type AB, the same rare type found on the Shroud of Turin. The Vatican sent investigators, silent, secret, and what they found chilled them to the bone. The Madonna wept on the very day the prophecy scroll was opened in the Vatican archives. Coincidence? Or heaven's sorrow, pouring silently for a world that will not listen? The second sign. The black sun over Jerusalem, September 2024. The sky above the holy city darkened suddenly, unnaturally. No eclipse predicted, no storm. For 7 full minutes, Jerusalem stood in eerie twilight as the sun vanished behind a veil no scientist could explain. Witnesses fell to their knees in the streets. Rabbis wept at the Wailing Wall. And in the Vatican, the bells rang backwards. A warning. Of judgment? Of sorrow? No one knows. But the scroll had spoken of this. The eastern star shall dim, and the sun shall fail over Zion, before the voice of the third shall rise. And it happened, just as written. The third sign, the silent bells of Rome. Easter morning, 2025, the holiest day of the Christian calendar. The bells of St. Peter's Basilica, bells that have rung unbroken for 5 centuries, failed. No sound, no song of joy, only silence. And on that very morning, Pope Leo XIV gave his strange urgent address. The signs were complete. The prophecy had begun. And now the question, the great and terrible question that every soul must face: what comes next? What moves in secret, behind the veil of the nations? And are you ready to see it, when at last it shows its face to the world? Or will you be caught asleep, as so many will, unprepared, unguarded, unaware? Think, brother. Think, sister. Have you seen the signs in your life? The strange dreams? The warnings in the spirit? The unease that will not leave? You are not alone. For those who see, the remnant, are waking, and you are one of them. I say again, this is not the end, but it is the beginning of the end. But what comes next is the part they dared not speak. Not in public, not even from the Vatican balcony, but behind sealed doors, far beneath the surface of the Holy See. They are preparing. For what? For the final stage of the prophecy, for the moment the third power reveals itself. My friend, listen well. Whispers have escaped from the Apostolic Palace, hidden sources within the Swiss Guard, men who stand watch at the secret gates beneath the Vatican Library, and they speak of strange orders, urgent messages, frantic preparations in the darkest hours of night. A secret prayer initiative, not for peace alone, but for protection, for deliverance, for the sparing of the remnant. Why? Because the Holy Father knows something the world does not. He has seen the 4th line of the prophecy, the line that speaks of the week of darkness, a time when the lights of Rome will fail, when the bells will not ring, when even the Pope himself may fall silent. A fast of 40 days, a consecration of Russia, a fulfillment, perhaps, of the third secret of Fatima, long hidden, long feared. And why now? Because the signs are complete, because the third power moves, and the Holy Father is desperate to delay the storm, so desperate that he has ordered the Swiss Guard to change their ancient patrol routes for the first time in 200 years. Why? No one knows. Some say a threat has been seen near the hidden tunnels beneath the Vatican gardens. Some say something has already entered Rome, unseen, waiting. Others whisper of the return of the ancient enemy, a force older than empire, older than Babel, older than the first war in heaven itself. Is this why the Pope has called for the hidden fasting of 40 bishops in 40 nations? Is this why the bells fell silent on Easter? Is this why the secret consecration has begun, though no one dares speak its name? And if this is true, what does the Vatican know that we do not? What is the darkness they fear to name? And why has the remnant been warned, now, in these final days before the storm? Brother, sister, you are not hearing this by accident. This is not mere rumor. This is the last quiet breath before the thunder breaks. What comes next will change the world. The third power will rise, the hidden one will be revealed, and Rome will tremble. If you feel this shadow stirring, type sign below. You are not alone. And now, my friend, the final warning, the last piece of the prophecy, the part that no one, not the cardinals, not the bishops, not even the secret scholars beneath the Vatican, dares to explain fully. Because it speaks signs of the end, but not the end as men think. No, the prophecy does not close in terror. It ends in hope. But only for the few, for the remnant, for those who are awake, for those who have heard this message and understood. Listen carefully, for this is the part meant for you. The scroll warned of 3 signs, 3 nations, 3 movements in the heavens. But after the silence of Rome, after the third power rises from shadow, there will be a sifting, a dividing. The prophecy speaks of the remnant church, the faithful few who will stand when the great storm breaks, those who refuse the mark, those who reject the great lie, those who, though scattered across the nations, will be gathered by the hand of God. Pope Leo XIV has spoken of this too, though only in private letters never meant for the public eye. He has called them the Ecclesia Fidelium, the Church of the Faithful, a secret army of prayer, a people hidden yet prepared, and they alone will endure the darkness. For the prophecy promises something more, something wondrous, something fearful, the Great Awakening, a moment when the veil is torn, when truth floods the earth like fire, when the remnant will see, truly see, what the rulers of this world tried to hide. And then the final line of the prophecy. And behold, I saw the candle of the fisherman burn alone, and the darkness gather. But at the hour of trembling, the dawn shall break, and the remnant shall rise in glory. The Holy Father clings to this hope. The Church clings to this hope. And now, you must too, because what comes may shake the earth, may darken the sky, but those who endure to the end shall see the light. The scroll ends in silence. The bells remain quiet. The secret prayers continue. But the hour of decision has come. The final warning has been given. To you, to the remnant. And now the question that will burn in your soul tonight, tomorrow, until the day the storm breaks. Will you be ready? Or will you be swept away as the prophecy foretells when the third power moves and the nations fall? The choice is yours, and the time is now. If your spirit hears this call, type prophecy below. The remnant is watching. You are not alone.